Okay guys, here we are with a new deck recipe, and yeah, as you can see, this is my face down deck recipe. Let me get into briefly what it's about. It's a whole deck based around these monsters that you can flip back into face down defense position, but when they flip summon themselves, or you flip summon them, not when they're attacked and flipped, but because that's flip monsters, but when monsters that are flipped, like when they flip summon, they get an effect. That's what my focus of this deck was. So yeah, I showed this off in a dual hour video. So yeah, I've decided why not show it to you guys. I'll show it in one more duel, just so you guys can see how to use this. And yeah, then it'll go back to let's plays and all that random junk. So just kidding. Yeah, let's plays. And, just so you know, I haven't made a side deck. I haven't really thought of anything for this deck so far. So, yeah, this is more like for troll purposes instead of highly pro player purposes. So, yeah, I hope you guys like this, and let's get started. So we have 3 Blast Sphere, one of the best things put in face down defense. Of course, it doesn't have the ability to flip over. It does have the nasty ability of when it's attacked face down, that it goes to the back row, your back row. So you need to be careful about setting too much or whatever. But, you know. And then during your next opponent's standby phase, it blows up their monster and deals damage equal to the attack. So, Yugioh Guardian 2800 attack and destroys the monster. Really good. So, go back up there. Thank you. So yeah, 3 of these. They're pretty good. Uh, 2 Golem Sentries, pretty high defense, and his ability is when he's flip summoned. And if you don't know what flip summoned is, from what I just explained, flip summoned is when it's face down, and then you turn it over. That's flip summoning. So when it goes from face down defense to face up attack, that's flip summon. So yeah, these guys get their effect because of flip summoning. So when he's flip summoned, you can return a monster to the hand. Its attack is weak, I know, but you know, it's pretty annoying if you keep flipping this over each turn. And not too many monsters get over 1800 attacks or defense, so that's pretty good. Next we got the bigger version of it. We have Guardian Sphinx. We're playing 2 of these because it's level 5. And yeah, once per turn. Oh, right. Another thing, this deck bases around monsters that can put themselves back face down too. For example, it says once per turn. So yeah, it can change itself from face up to face down defense position. That's another part of how this deck works too. Anyways, so what this does is when it's flipped summoned, it returns all monsters on your opponent's side of the field to their hand. Really good effect. Really good. It it shuts down your opponent really good. Um, Next we have Guardian Statue. And he basically has the same effect where he turns the monster to the hand. A little less defense, but, you know, it's all good. Next we have Hyro, I don't even know how to pronounce that, but 2400 attack, and your opponent can't attack a face down defense. So all 6 of these are protected, and also they can't. Well, it kind of sucks if you want them to attack Blast Sphere, but you know. And then also the Mummy, Scarab, Locust, Morphine Jar 2s, you know, they can't attack them. Really good and trolling. And 2400, it matches attack to Prime Material and Monarchs, about 100 less than Stardust, but it doesn't matter because they'll have to attack this first, and then they will be able to attack to whatever else. But it's like they attack this, and then you just bounce back Stardust next turn. Red Dragon, I think. I have a Red Dragon actually. Let me see something. Um, attacks face down. Or attacks okay, yeah. So it stops red dragons really badly too. Um, one Marshmallow, because why not? It has an effect, and it protects itself in battle. Morphine Jar for more draw power. 3 Morphine Draw or 2s, because this card will put your stuff in face on defense. Well, that just sounds really weird in my headset. Anyways, it can put all the things you need in face on defense. So you have these face down, not these two because too high leveled. These two in defense, blast spheres in defense. That's why there's more of these than the other stuff. Um, this card is really good if you need some stuff. Yeah, so basically puts everything face down defense. Pretty good. And you only play 2 high level monsters, or no, 4 high level monsters. So I mean, other than the spells, you're not really milling too much. So yeah, Plague Spreader, because it doesn't care to go to the grave, and you can bring it has effect bring it back and you can synchro. Also, you can notice this little crush card, because these are 3 crush cardable targets. If you don't like crush card, you don't need to run it, but it's in there. I think there's enough targets for it. Locust gets rid of a back row. Scarab gets rid of a monster. And here's one of my favorite cards in this deck, the Wandering Mummy. What it does is it has the ability to turn itself face down into defense position. But that's not the good part. What happens when it goes in face on defense is it shuffles your monsters' positions. So let's say you have Blastsphere, Wandering Mummy, and Scarabs. You activate the effect to switch him into face down defense. Once he does that, it'll switch positions of Blastsphere, Scarab, and Wandering Mummy so that your opponent doesn't know where certain monsters are, which stops your opponent from being too sure and having them be more careful about their attacks. Sometimes they'll just go back to the same position that they were in, but you know, you don't really care. You're like, alright, well, that's cool. Yeah. Alright, so one downside of this deck before we go on, if you end up getting attacked by a red dragon, you're going to get wrecked. I mean, this would flip over and then Blastsphere go. But yeah, you need to be careful, because one red dragon will wreck this deck really badly if you don't have any of the support cards out. So yeah, you need to be really careful about red dragons. If you are curious what weaknesses this might have. Anything else I need to tell you about? No, this doesn't. Okay. Yeah, no other effects that I need to worry about. So yeah, Book of Eclipse puts everything face on defense. Of course your opponent draws, but you don't really care, because you play 3 Morphine Jar 2s, and you have Crush cards, so you know, you're getting rid of everything that is troublesome. And what's your opponent gonna do? Like, Lightning Vortex you? Because your cards are flip summon monsters, not something that just stays up on the field. They can't do anything about it unless they're using like Shield Crust, Dark Mirror Force, and whatever. I mean, you don't even need a card. You don't have to wait a turn. You put these guys back face down and you're good to go. You can attack anytime you feel like it. You don't even have to attack, to be honest. You can basically deck out your opponent just by trolling him with Morphine Jar 2s and whatever. 2 Book of Moons. Put stuff face on defense. Why not? Trunade, bounce stuff back. Heavy Storm, destroy stuff. Lightning Vortex. Discard 1 and destroy all face up attack position stuff or face up stuff that your opponent controls. Pretty good. I recommend this because sometimes, as you can see, they don't have really like the best of defenses, so you need to be careful about it. And use Messenger of Peace. Of course, that stops Guardian Sphinx, higher Sphinx, and Synchros you have, and Wandering Mummy from attacking. But you don't really care because most of your monsters are weak enough to just pierce some damage to your opponent. So, so yeah. Uh, it's just protect you though. Mystical Space, destroy a back row. Avarice, because I'm pretty sure you'll lose enough monsters to draw two. Uh, Swords to block your opponent from like where Dragon plays, basically. Shallow Grave. I kind of want to put Monster Reborn in here, but you know, this card acts like Monster Reborn, but it is situational due to the fact your opponent must have a monster in their grave that they can special summon. So, yeah, it's kind of a downer, but you know, it's not too bad. Pretty good. Faint Plan. Really strange card, but your opponent can't attack face down monsters, so it's kind of cool. What I use this for is, well, stop people from attacking, but also, what you could do with it is when you have all your monsters face down, your opponent goes, okay, I'm just going to Red Dragon you, and I summon whatever else. You go Faint Plan. Now they can't attack. Red Dragon can't blow up your monsters, and it blows up your opponent's monster. So, pretty good. It only works for this kind of deck, though. I wouldn't recommend splashing this into other decks because, you know, I mean, maybe Burn if you're trying to do Stealth Birds or something. But, yeah. I mean, you could play Stealth Bird in here if you want to. Or Flip Flop Frogs or something. But I didn't really want this deck to be like a burn deck. This is like my only means of burn. Other than the next card, which is Ceasefire. Which flips all face down defense position stuff. If there are any. And no flip effects are activated. And everyone takes, no, your opponent takes 500 for each effect monster. Or face up effect monster. So what that means is you set 5. Let's just say you have 5 face down. So you do this. It flips over anything your opponent has, stops your opponent's effects, and you would deal 2,500 damage, yada yada. Then your monsters can be like, okay, well, we just flip ourselves back face down. Because they don't worry about flip effects. The only one that has a flip effect is the morphine jars, so just so you know. So yeah, Ceasefire really good in this deck because this deck does not care at all about Ceasefire. Crush card, you got 3 targets, so why not? 1 Wall of Revealing Light protects your monsters from attacks. Mostly it's in there to stop like big beastie monsters and definitely Red Dragons. Yeah, as I said, Red Dragon, not really good to try to take on with this deck. Probably the only downside of this deck. For the extra deck, just random stuff really. 2 Catasters, an Army Arm, Colossal, this, Naturias, because you can do Earth Tuners and Synchro with the Guardian or Golem. So, yeah, you can make Naturias. You can make Redragon, yada yada. For the side deck, well, let's talk about cards that can help out this deck. Well, Level Limit and Gravity Bind don't help out due to the fact that most of the cards are level 4s and 5s and 6s, so you're 5, right? Yeah, 5s and 6s, so if you want to attack, you can go right. If you don't want to yet attack, you can do Level Limit and Gravity Bind, but it really doesn't benefit this deck too much. Also, you can do Stealth Birds. Stealth Birds help you out. What else is there? Flip Flop. If you don't like Flip Flop below Bear and Golem. I just like Golem for more defense, but Flip Flop does the same thing, except Flip Flop has the ability to send stuff when it's attacked, unlike Golem. And, yeah, you could play Average Traps in here too. You don't have to just play Faint Plan. I just wanted to play something other than Mirror Force, Dimensional Prisons, Pulses, whatever. So yeah, you could run whatever you want to do with traps. There's like, this deck is really good to traps. like, it doesn't go minus when you use traps. Maybe torrential, because you need to keep monster presence, but, you know, there's not really any traps you need to worry about. As for any monsters you can splash in, um, you could throw dark arms in here because you have a total of 6 darks. But well, I just want to focus on face down stuff. So um, I don't think there's a one with a light attribute, so I don't think Chaos Sorcerer helps. So anything else I can think of before? Oh yeah, if you want any draw power, you can use Allure Darkness, Hand Destruction, Card Destruction, whatever. You know, it's good. And you can use Monster Reborn in this deck, because you can bring back the monsters and they can turn themselves face down again. If you want a Crush card, I would recommend using Plague, but if you want to just synchro Plague, then you can use Locust, which you can just use Locust ability, and just use Crush card, just break your opponent. It's kind of hard to talk about this deck, because, you know, it's just pretty straightforward. It's basically flip summon yourself for an effect, attack, put yourself back face down. Basically, that's what this whole deck is. As I said, it's a troll deck, and yeah, I hope you guys like this video, because I actually do like this deck a lot. And yeah, go ahead and try some of the other traps that you think are good. I just like Faint Plan because I think it's really, really good. So yeah, I will catch you guys next time. This is Dragox55 signing out.